What's up, YouTube? For today's video, this is going to be your guide on how to use Bombirdier in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a moveset you haven't seen here, or you think you got a one that works really well, leave below in the comment section. And if there's a Pokemon you'd like me to cover, make sure you leave it below there too. And if these guides are helping you out, make sure you hit that like button and let's have a look at this Pokemon. So to start things off here, we've got a nice attack stat and a reasonable speed and special defense and defensive stat. So not a super duper fast Pokemon for sure, and its best stat is sort of its attack. So we've got a flying and dark type, which is an interesting kind of typing here. Now, I've got a couple of sets I come up with here, especially for the physical side of it, because it can do quite a few things. Now, the first set I'd actually tried this one out is going to be Loaded Dice, so it does get a cool ability here called Rocky Payload. Now, what the Rocky Payload does, its offensive moves, obviously that a rock will be boosted by 1.5 times, so you know, with that, that's 100 base power, a Rock Blast right there with 4 hits guaranteed, and it's 125 base power if it's 5. So that actually outclasses Stone Edge, which is actually kind of nice, and it's a lot more viable than Stone Edge too, in most cases. So I've got Knockoff as its other move on there too. It does get access to Sucker Punch, which is kind of nice too. Knockoff is just, you know, a lot more base power initially, and it's quite a attractive move to go for, because it can get rid of the item too. The flying type move I've given it is Brave Bird, which is going to be pretty strong there, coming off its base attack. And we've also got Drill Run. Drill Run's going to be our way to hit some steel type Pokemon, fire type Pokemon, etc. like that. And yeah, Brave Bird is just going to be very, very spammable if we're not using Rock Blast and stuff like that. Once the opponent sees you using Rock Blast a lot there, and, you know, sort of knowing what set, a steel type will probably follow there. So that's where you want Drill Run to come in effect. So we've got the EV spread here is Max Attack and Max Speed Jolly Nature. This maximizes its kind of subpar speed and allows you to outspeed, you know, a few things there, but it's still kind of in a very odd bracket. Now, I'm going to go over a couple of physical sets here with this Pokemon, because there are some variants you can do. Is it a super powerful Pokemon? No, but it does have some sort of niche it can run. I quite like the Rocky Payload sort of set here. Now, as for the Terra type, you could go Terra Flying to get around its fairy weakness. You could also go Terra Rock here as well. Now, that would give you a lot more base power, like a lot more damage there on the Rock Blast, you know, so that's definitely an option. I'd probably go for that option. And yeah, obviously you're going to be weak to a lot of other things there. You're then going to be weak to grass, but then you can hit the grass types with the flying and stuff like that, so it's not too bad. And if a water types that comes in, you can still use Brave Bird or Rock Blast or whatever you like there. So not a bad set there. I have used this one and it's had some reasonable success. The main issue here is its speed and stuff like that, so it can be outsped fairly easy. So any sort of web support and sticky web support is definitely appreciated there. Next set we got, this can be a viable Choice Scarf and Choice Band Pokemon too, depending on, you know, if you want to hit a little bit harder or for it to go a little bit faster. So it does have U-Turn, which is a great momentum move there. We've got obviously Drill Run there for steel types. We've got Knockoff, and we've got Brave Bird. So kind of standardish there for the Scarf and Choice Band set. If you're going to run Scarf, I'd go Adamant. If you're going to run Choice Band, you could go Jolly too. That's an option. I just like that extra bit of base power. But yep, you could go Scarf easily on this set too, and go Jolly with the band. So that could work. They're giving you a little bit of extra speed there. As for the ability, I've given this one Key Eye because we don't really have any rock type moves, so Rocky Payload's not needed. And Big Pets is kind of a meme gimmick. So mainly these two abilities here, Keen Eye and Rocky Payload, are gonna be what you'll be using if you're, of course, using this Pokemon, right? But that's what I would go for a physical set there for Choice Band and Choice Scarf. Not bad. I know that it's outclassed by the Pokemon. The Terra type I've given it is Flying, you know, so that'll give you your best bet to Brave Bird to be hitting very, very hard there. You could also go Terra. You could go Terra Ground as well for a little bit of surprise on steel types. Or you could go Terra Dark as well if you want knockoff to hit a bit harder. Now, we've gone over a loaded dice set. We've gone over a choice set. How about we look at another physical move here? It can do quite a few variants. So, it does get the status move here, Hone Claws, which is a really nice move there to boost attack and accuracy. So, it's got Stone Edge and Rocky Payload, which is really nice there. That's quite a nice combination because Stone Edge is kind of shaky, you know. So, with that extra boost from the Hone Claws there, by one stage, Stone Edge becomes very, very accurate, you know. So it's going to still miss a little bit, but it's going to be you know, hitting most of the time. So with the Rocky Payload, that's going to be doing an extra 1.5. And you've also got the Terra Rock on top of that, which I've gone for here. And you've also got a chance of it scoring a critical hit too. So obviously running this set, you absolutely have to run Drill Run on there. Otherwise, Steel types are going to wall you. And I've given it Citrus Berry. And this time I've given it Acrobatics too. Because with Hone Claws, you're probably going to take a little bit of damage setting that one up if you do go first, that is. So that will enable the Citrus Berry to heal you a little bit. And will enable you to be going for a Acrobatics at full base power. So you've got your 110 base power, which is going to work really nicely. Instead of using Brave Bird and using all your health up there, you've got a nice, powerful move there with virtually no drawbacks, and which will work in nicely with Hone Claws. As for the EV spread, I've given it max health, max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature. Really, you're going to want Jolly Nature most of the time there because it's kind of a slow Pokemon. Another way to get around this too is you could use Tailwind, which I'll get to in a sec there, but yeah. Tailwind is another option you can use if you're worried about... I'm just trying to think here. So, let's say, for example... It's kind of hard to get rid of one of these moves here, but you could slot on the... If you weren't running a... Let's say you weren't running a loaded dice set, you could put Tailwind on there too, and then you could go up for this. You could go up for, like, Adamant instead, and that would still make you, like, really... obviously, you'd swap this up. I'd probably give this, like, probably Life Orb just for some extra damage output. So you could run something like that too. That's another variant there, another sweeping variant. This would benefit the rest of your team, plus Bombirdier, because it's very, very slow. Well, it's not like super, super slow, but it's, you know, a lot of electric-type Pokemon can come in and outspeed a fairy-type Pokemon that can just absolutely, you know, clap its cheeks. So, yeah, you want to be prepared for that. And then once you've got the Tailwind up, you can hit really, really hard. But it probably won't last too long if you're using Brave Bird and Life Orb at the same time. So you might want to put Citrus Berry on there. That's another option. Or you could do the Citrus Berry Acrobatics combination. Sort of all up to what you want to do there. Or you couple it with another team that has, you know, Sticky Web and Tailwind and stuff like that. So we've gone over a couple of physical sets here. How about a raw lead here? Tailwind lead. So this is going to be more of a setup Pokemon with a little bit of support there. So this is a little bit different because we're kind of relying on all of its status moves. So we've got Tailwind there, which is, you know, a great move. I've given it max speed. Now, arguably, you could make this one a little bit more bulky. So if you didn't want to run the speed on it, you thought, well, that's, you know, don't really need to do that. There's not much point. You could make this into a, you could make this special defensive. That could work there. You could even make it like defensive, you know, so you could just get rid of some of these things here. Let me just go for Impish Nature. So you could make this one kind of defensive, you know, and then you could have the Tailwind, and that would give you, you know, double your speed. So that would be 400 speed. So that's really, really fast. So most things will be getting outsped. And then you could go for, you've also got Parting Shot there too. So say if you've got a Pokemon that's trying to set up on you at the start there, or just something that's very, very powerful, has a lot of presence about it, you could go for your Parting Shot after your Tailwind, and you could also go for Foul Play as well. So say someone tries to set up on you with Belly Drum or Sword Dance or anything like that, hit them hard with the Foul Play. And if you come across any leads there that are setting up Stealth Rock, Spikes, all the entry hazards in the world, you could go for Taunt there too. I've given it Keen Eye because Keen Eye is going to be good there as the best ability on this type of set. And I've also given it Rocky Helmet too. There's a little bit of extra chip damage. You could swap this into a physical move and then set your Tailwind up. So that could work, and then you could, you know, Parting Shot out of here. So not a bad sort of support Pokemon, I'd say. Like I said, you could always adjust these EVs. I personally would be inclined to make this like, I don't know. I kind of like this as special defensive kind of Pokemon, you know. It's weak to a lot. There's a lot of like special electric type moves out there, and you know, ice and fairy and things like that. So you could make it special defense and surprise the opponent. But that one is up to you there, or if you want to go first, before the opponent and get that quick taunt up there on the lead, and you need a little bit more speed there, you could go for the timid and stuff like, or jolly, whatever you're going for there. So that's another option to use for Bombirdier. Now, let's have a look at a special set. So we've gone over a lot of physical, sort of tailwind support sort of stuff. It does have Nasty Plot, which gives it a chance to be a special sweeper. The problem with its special attack, it's very, very bad at base 60, so, and you're sort of a bit forced to go for max speed and timid nature there, but it does have a little bit of a niche there. It sort of reminds me of like a lot of these, flying type Pokemon. They almost have exactly the same moves there. They love to have like Hurricane and Heat Wave, but yes, so we've got Wide Lens there, especially as our item. Obviously, we've got Keen Eye too. On top of that, it's going to be very, very handy. So, we've got Hurricane and Heat Wave, which are kind of a little bit shaky at times in accuracy. So, especially Hurricane. So, that's going to help that out a lot. So, an extra 10%, sort of pulling that up to, close to 80, which is nice. And then we've got Heat Wave, which, that'll be 99. So, that's great. We've got Dart Pulse there. This is going to be the best move to use. We've got 100% accuracy and an 80 base power move and a 20% chance of flinch too. So, you can get that nasty plot up, and if you're using a flinching set, always remember that you need speed more than power on flinching sets, so you want to be going first. So timid is absolutely essential to run on that. And if you've got any like web support, even a tailwind support would be very nice too. So then you could get your nasty plot up and start spamming Dart Pulse. I've given this one Terra Flying, so you could get a little bit more power out of Hurricane, because even after one nasty plot, it isn't exactly what you call a hard hitter, so that would give you even more power going for Hurricane. Another option you could go for too is Terra Fire. If you think a fairy is coming in there, you could go for the fire. That would at least resist the fairy hit, and then you could go for a Hurricane. So that's another example you could use there, and that could be a good sort of surprise for the opponent. Now, this could work in doubles too, because you do have Heat Wave, but I'd probably be using Terra Fire there too, because you can at least do some kind of damage. But yes, the physical sets could definitely work in doubles too. I'd be inclined probably to use a physical one unless you really want to use a special one. It's a little bit slow there setting up Nasty Plot. By the time you've set Nasty Plot up, you're probably going to faint in doubles, so I'd probably use that one in singles. At least you have some sort of chance there, depending on what rule set you're sort of going for there. So this last one I came up with here on the spot here is a Troll Trip set. Now, this is a Power Trip set, so it does get a pretty cool move out of Power Trip. Usually Power Trip Pokemon work best when they're bulky, so like Corviknight's a very good one because it's got the bulk, it's got the typing to use it, right? However, it does have a small little niche here with Hone Claws, so you could use Hone Claws to boost up its attack and accuracy, and then you could spam Power Trips. So every time you get a boost there on one of its stats, it gets an additional 20 base power. So obviously you want to stack it up and stack it up and stack it up. Now I've given this one max health and max defense there, and I've also given it Terra Rock and a Smooth Rock. So with the Sandstorm, after you Terra it, it'll get an additional 1.5 in special defense. So it'll give it some like all-round bulk, plus you'll be hitting the opponent with sand as well. So this one you could use on a sand team. With a, maybe with a, I don't know, Tyranitar. Probably hip out on that, it'd be better. So then you don't have to set the Sandstorm. But if you want to do it by yourself, you could too, just with Sandstorm. And that way you can get lots of boosts up there and go for a powerful power trip. And with the defense, you're going to be living attacks there. With the special defense, you are going to be, living those attacks too, which is going to be good. And yeah, that's another option you could use for Bombirdier. Probably outclassed by something like Corviknight, but it still is an option that you could go about here using. Let's have a look at some more movesets from Bombirdier, but that's pretty much it for the ones I came up with there. I'll go over what it's sort of like its moves are and stuff like that. Let's have a look at its physical moves. So it does have some other option. It does have dual wing beat, so I was thinking you could even do something like this. This is more of a variant on that Hone Claw set I was talking about, the physical set. So you could go something like that. That way, dual wing beat would be 2 hits, so it'd be 80 base power, 99% accuracy, which would be, would be pretty good there. You could, go the Rocky Payload with this one. Just another option there for a flying type move that you could possibly use there. Obviously, you'd run Dual Run. So this is almost like perfection for like Hone Claws. You've got like moves here. That'd be 100% accuracy afterwards. That would be. Obviously, that would be 88, and, this would be 99. So everything would be hitting, like, really, really nicely there. So As for you could even go like, if you're really concerned about Stone Age mission, you could put another additional 10% on top of that too. But then again, you could just go for Home Claws again, so that's probably a bit of a waste. So, yeah, so there's sort of your moveset there. As for item, I think I'd still be inclined to go for Rock because you're going for that Stone Edge, which would be like really, really nice. So you could go Rock on there. That would be kind of cool. And then you've got, like, it's a high crit move. Ooh, so we could go Scope Lens. That's not bad. So Scope Lens wouldn't be it's a bit of a gimmick, but you've already got the critting chance there on Drill Run. You've got a critting chance there on the Stone Edge too, so not bad, you know. And Dual Wing Beat hits twice, so, you know, one of those could be a critical hit, so it's 2 individual attacks. So that's not a bad set there too. I actually don't mind that set. That's pretty cool. I could see that one working there if you had enough support down for it. And it's just 1 Home Claws and you start attacking, so that could be quite good. And with Scope Lens and the Stone Edge, you've got a 50% chance there to crit with these 2 attacks, which is good. So you've got like 2 out of 3 of the crit stages there, which is going to be very, very handy for those moves. And you have Stone Edge crits with a Rock type and Rocky Payload. That's going to be hitting really, really hard. You know, that's going to be like dumpstering like most things. Even a resistant Pokemon will take a big chunk of damage, you know, so that might be my favorite set there so far. I just come up out there on the spot. I think it's got some good potential there, depending on what sort of rule set and stuff you're playing. Let me see if I can come up with any more options here. As for like teammates, I'd probably go with something like, I'm thinking Corviknight. Straight away, I'm thinking Corviknight. I'm like, that's a flying type. I know that's a flying type too, but it's still not bad. It's just maybe if you change Bombirdier type. I'm going to do fairy types here. Let's have a look at some fairy types. You could have something sort of to match up with that. Okay, so we got Grimmsnarl here. That's not all that bad. You could have a Grimmsnarl. Actually, that wouldn't be too bad. So we've got Grimmsnarl here. So if you went, if you had like just a typical, generic-y sort of Grimmsnarl set here, if you really want to use Bombirdier, you could have this, right? This isn't a bad. This will like allow you to get like, I'm just coming up with something real quick on the spot here. So you could get all this sort of set up, right, for your Bombirdier to swap in there. So then that could easily set up a Home Claws behind that, and then it's got that parting shot on top of that too, which is great. So, you get those screens up and then go into Bombirdier. That would give it a great chance to set it up. And, it'd be hitting really, really hard there, So that's another option you could use there. And it would give Bombirdier some bulk about it too. So you've got plenty of bulk. So you might not fall down to that Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast or Thunderbolt or stuff like that, or Thunder Punch or whatever, attacking move is going to be thrown at it. So that's an option you could definitely use. As for counters, this Pokemon is countered pretty easily. The main thing about it is it's not very fast. So unless it gets a Tailwind up there, and yeah, it's going to be using, if it's using a flying type like Brave Bird, it's only going to be around for a little while. Steel types are still quite good for this Pokemon because it only has Drill Run. So yeah, let's bring up some Steel types here. Let's have a little bit of a look here. I mean, it's not too hard to counter this Pokemon. This would be a great counter. So, like, the only thing Corviknight would have to watch out for would be Stone Edge, but even then, it's only got to be neutral. So, yeah, Corviknight would absolutely destroy this, and it could go for a body press back if it was a generic body press set. That would absolutely destroy Bombirdier. So, there you go. That's a Birds of a Feather there as a counter. Let me just see if I've got any more stuff here. Okay, so let's bring up... I want to bring up a special move. So there, it's special moves. You could also have like a flinching set here. You could go like, this is sort of a variant of that special set that I showed you earlier on. You absolutely have to run Heat Wave on here. So this is more of a variant of the special set. So this one, you're really going for flinches and, put the nasty plot in the right box. So yeah, so it's kind of similar to the other one there. We want to go with, of course, we'll just go with the same EV spread. So this time, instead of Hurricane, we're going with Air Slash. We've got the 30% chance there, 30% chance there. So lots of flinch, Excellent chance of flinching, So great. And we've also got Heat Wave too. Now, I'm trying to think what you could run as an item. You could go Wide Lens to make sure that, Air Slash is 100% actually. Heat Wave would be 99%. So eventually you wouldn't be missing there. That's another good option. yeah, I'd probably go with Keen Eye here as well for sure, you know. So that's an option you can go for. I probably wouldn't go Life Orb. Just trying to think. You've also got heavy duty boots. That could be a good item to run on it in general. You know what I mean? You've also got black. Oh, you could go black glasses on there to boost those. Oh, here we go. So we can go for some some MLG black glasses here. Put them on your Bombirdier and boost the power of them dark pulses and make lots of flinches. You know, this has a better chance of flinching, so you might want to be using that more often. I don't know. So you could even go. Oh, we got anything to boost up the oh, we could go Sharp Beak. Oh, there. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Like this is a PIMPNITE special here. So we got Sharp Beak and Air Slash. So Sharp Beak is going to be boosting up them flying types attack with 1.2, or you could just use a Life Orb. But I don't know. With a flinching set, you don't really want Life Orb. You just want to keep flinching and flinching and flinching. So that's another option you could possibly use for Bombirdier, I think. And, yeah, we'll do a final look here. I think that's virtually it for it. To something, it does get Memento too, so that's not bad. You might be able to slide that onto the lead here after you've set your Tailwind up. Maybe instead of Taunt, you go Memento, so that is the option there. I don't underestimate Memento. It's a great move. It has Whirlwind too. It doesn't really have the bolt. It's not like a Skarmory, so I don't think it using Whirlwind very effectively unless you use like Rest and Sleep Talk. It's also got Rain as well. It's got a little bit of Sand. So, yeah, there's not too much else you could use with this Pokemon. That's about it. I think I've absolutely thoroughly covered this Pokemon. I doubt anyone would probably cover it as much as I would have here. But ultimately, this Pokemon, I'd say it's cool, but it's got a nice little niche with the Rocky Payload. I really like that. I really, really like this sort of set here. That's kind of nice. It can run a loaded dice set. It can run Choice Band and Choice Scarf reasonably effectively. It can run a good Hone Claw set. It can run a little bit of support there with Tailwind and stuff like that. Is it outclassed by virtually every other Pokemon that does the same thing? Yes, but its only real niche is this Rocky Payload. So that's about the most unique thing you can use with it. So if you want to do that, if you want to use Bombirdier, be my guest. If you've got any other movesets you'd like with this Pokemon, tell me all about them. I feel like I've been very, very thorough with such a underused sort of Pokemon. I did do a Brambleghast guide before this. If you want to check that out, make sure you do. And there'll be one more guide tonight. We've got like a triple upload today. All right, people, that's about it for Bombirdier. I hope you enjoyed it, and peace out.